Oh, man. Welcome back, everyone. It's another video about spiritual warfare. And for those that know, I've been going through spiritual warfare for the last since 2016. Okay? And it all started with my ex-wife. It started with my ex-wife, and it started when I gave my life to God. And, not knowing the word, not listening to God, doing what I felt, I lost my wife and my family that I had to, her children, 4 beautiful girls, and 2 unborn babies. I literally was homeless, and that's when I had to start listening to God a little bit more and reading the word, because I told myself, and I recognize, whatever purpose God has me for, the enemy's gonna come, and he's gonna come back. And one day I will get married again, and I'm gonna be better prepared for the enemy's attacks. Which I did get married. Been married now for 2 years. I courted my wife for about 9 months before we got married. 10 months before we got married. Got 2 beautiful girls. Everything that I did lost in my previous marriage, I got back, plus more, 10 times fold. And my wife is pretty much the woman of my dreams. I feel like I'm winning. God done gave me favor. He done blessed me in so many ways since my divorce. Now, let me say this. I didn't ask for a divorce. I didn't put in for a divorce. I fought all the way to the end by trying to use God's word with my ex-wife, but I didn't make things easy. Because I was still trying to learn the word, and I wasn't listening to God, and I wasn't trusting him. But, that's the past. I don't dwell on it. But I did recognize that it is a spiritual realm, and it's a worldly realm. Right now, flesh and blood, I'm in the worldly realm. But it's a spiritual realm where you are constantly attacked by enemies that wants to do their part by collecting souls, spirits, I just got in. I'm having spiritual arguments, but it haven't not erupted yet. But the enemy is trying to erupt. Why? Because I know the enemy's patterns. And the enemy's patterns is, we go through these seasons of spiritual warfare, and normally with me and my wife, it takes place from November to the end of December. Excuse me. But that don't mean that it stops, because it's still there, because my wife, she don't read the Bible. She's not meditating in it daily like God asks us to do. She's not educated enough to know how spiritual warfare is, even though I try to take the time and break it down to her when we're going through these spiritual fights, or even when we wasn't. And every time I try to bring it up, the enemy comes in and uses her to a point where she gets mad. She say things that she don't mean. He clouds her thoughts and her judgment. And I'm going to give you an example. So, we ain't had a spiritual fight, argument since December 29th. Right? December 29th. It's January 23rd. Okay? Everything's been real good with me and my wife. Watching movies, talking, having fun. Me rubbing her feet, her rubbing mine, like, cooking for each other. Like, everything's been good. Now, we left, we're driving. Now, for the last 3 years, I pretty much drive. Last 3 years, I pretty much drive. And I know I could sense where a spiritual argument is coming, because the enemy always wants to argue over nothing. Most of our spiritual arguments is over nothing. Remember what I said earlier in this video? With me and my ex-wife, I didn't make it easy. Like, I did some things when me and my wife was going through our spiritual arguments, and what I did, I gave the enemy ammunition to use against me. So I told myself I can't give the enemy ammunition. So if I'm not giving the enemy ammunition to use against me, what he does now, he takes the smallest argument about nothing and he makes it into an argument, because he controls her mind. Now, I, on the other hand, realizes when the argument is about to take place, or when it's going to escalate. Like, I know it's a spiritual argument because it's out of character. Okay? And I told y'all in previous videos, the way you know when you're in a spiritual argument is one side ain't listening. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter what you do. It don't matter how you say it. They're either going to talk over you. When you're trying to talk, you don't have to be down talking, disrespectful. You could just be trying to explain, and they're going to talk over you. They're going to get loud at you. So you can't never get a word in. That's one way I know when I'm in a spiritual argument. And what happens is the person ain't going, if they're not in the word, they can't what's the word I'm looking for? They can't recognize that they're in a spiritual fight. So for the last 3 years, I'm the one that drives the car. Now, I would say I'm the better driver than my wife. She would say she's a better driver than me, but I don't argue it. You know, now, when I'm driving, we never got in a moment where it felt like it was about to be an accident on my hands. Now, I might have had to swerve because the car swerved, or I might have had to stop a little quick because the car got in front of me, you know, something like that, swerved in the lane and, you know, cut me off. But I don't drive reckless, okay? So I started noticing, because you got to pay attention, and I talked about this in a previous video. You got to pay attention of everything. You can't forget nothing, because this enemy is a trickster. He watches things. He waits. He's looking for an opening for he could come in and run disaster in your life. Okay, so I've been noticing when my wife rides on the passenger seat, she's been acting different in a way that if I was a reckless driver. Now, like I said, we ain't getting in no close calls of me driving and getting in an accident. I'm not driving to the point, because we got 2 babies. We got 2 babies in the backseat. I got a car, so I got 2 babies under 2 years old. I got a baby that's 1 year, and I got a baby that's like 4 months. So how crazy can I be driving in this car? Like, I love my wife first. I love my kids second. You see what I'm saying? I love me third. Like, I put their lives on the line before I put my life on the line. So I'm not gonna be in my car acting like speed racer. I'm not in the car. I'm trying to get to A and B, and then from B to A. So I'm driving, and she's making it seem like this is the first time of, me driving in the rain. Be careful, Rashad, because, I was driving earlier and, I slid. Now, the first time she said it, I kind of was just like, okay, cool. Then she brought it up again. Now it's raining, but I'm not going fast. I'm going like 65 miles per hour, maybe 70. I'm going with the flow of the traffic. She wants to say, well, she was in an accident and she done used this before. She was in an accident and, she's just a little worried. But when she was in her accident, it was almost like 5-6 years ago. Before me. But like I said, she been riding in the passenger seat for the last 3 years, and it's never been a problem with my driving. But now all of a sudden, it's a problem in my driving, like we had a couple close calls or something prior. So now she's a little worried. And, I'm trying to break this down to her, like, I could understand, I will understand more if we had a couple close calls recently of me driving, for you to be a little, worried in the passenger seat. But I said, have we been in any close calls? She says no. But then she wants to talk, so I let her talk, and then she hits me with all this, well, I'm just a little worried because anybody that been in an accident, they're worried when anybody else drive. I said, okay, I understand that. I said, when you drive, I'm a little worried, but I'm not scared to the point that I feel like I can't ride with you. I'm not telling you what to do when you're driving. The only advice I gave her was don't be behind any big rigs because you can't see in front of you. And stop trying to speed up to get in front of somebody when you want to change lanes. Just slow down, let that car pass you up, and then get over in the next lane. That's being safe. That's what I do. So this whole time, she wants to tell me what she brings up. Let me see, hold on. Oh man, I should have recorded this earlier. She brings up how she's the enemy. Now, anytime in the spiritual fight, she'll say, I'm the enemy. Go ahead and say it. Like I'm constantly telling her she's the enemy. No, I don't tell her you're the enemy. I tell her you're letting the enemy control you by your actions. Your actions. You know, she's being sarcastic. She's doing this while I'm driving. Like, okay. So when I get to breaking down, I'm like, you didn't have to put up a sarcastic thumbs up. Then she said, well, you're being very sensitive. I said, why are you calling me sensitive? You didn't have to call me sensitive. Like, why are you saying these things to me? I'm not yelling at you. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not calling you names. I even pulled up, like, yesterday night, we got a habit saying this to each other. You need to do this, right? So, yesterday I'm putting up the dishes, and I'm like, you need to, and I said, I stopped because I had to catch myself. And I said to myself, Rashad, you could say that a better way without saying you need to. That's my wife. I don't need to talk to her like that. So I break it down to her what I just did. That, I need to stop telling you I need to, because she does the same thing. She said it could be anything. You need to start taking out the trash at this time or whatever. Well, it's a better way to communicate that it don't come across so harsh to someone. So the whole time I'm trying to talk to my wife, we're going back and forth in the car and she's yelling and screaming, but I'm trying to talk to her about how this enemy works. She ain't trying to hear it. Anytime I get to talking, she get to talking loud, get to screaming. And I'm like, why are you yelling? Why are you screaming? I ain't yelling, I ain't screaming. This ain't an argument. But I can't never talk to her about things that she's doing. The enemy wants to portray me as being the bad guy, but what the enemy does, he'll put in her mind that I done said something that I did not say. Like, he'll try to put me out there like I done said something or I done did something and it's not true. And I'm going to speak up on it. I'm not going to, if I did something wrong or if I was disrespectful, I don't got a problem saying, you know what? I was wrong for saying that. I was disrespectful. I didn't call you that. But the enemy will make it seem like, and like, what made me make this video just now, and I know this been long, and it's about 20 minutes so far, but this is important, people. You gotta recognize the enemy. You gotta know when you're in a spiritual fight. And right now, I had to go get in my car to make this video because my mother-in-law came to the house. She's staying for a couple days or whatever. My 1-year-old, she ain't really been eating. And I told my wife a long time ago, stop giving her Ritz crackers. Why? Because that's all she's going to want. So now, what do she want? She wants Ritz crackers. Do she want to eat her dinner? No. But I don't argue with my wife. I told her. I'm not one of these people that have been like, see, I told you so. I told you. Now she don't want to eat because you kept giving her Ritz crackers. I don't say that. I don't do that. I don't do that to my wife. So she didn't really eat her dinner today, and I didn't say nothing. You know, she's a baby. She's 1. My wife tells me I get me some graham crackers to eat for like a after dinner snack. She tells me don't give her no graham crackers, but I wasn't gonna give her none. 5 minutes later, I'm going back into the room with the graham cracker box, and what do I see? My wife giving her Ritz crackers. Now, you just told me not to give her no graham crackers, but now you're giving her Ritz crackers. I don't say nothing. Then, like an hour later, my mother-in-law gives her a cracker. I don't say nothing there. So then, I'm laying on the bed trying to go to sleep. I had a long night, long day. I just want to go to sleep now. My daughter comes. She hits me on my face. You know, she thinks I'm up. She's a baby. She don't know. But when I wake up, I see her with her little snack tray, little snack bowl. And what is it? Chips. It is 10:30 at night. So I grab the chips, I put them on the dresser, and I say, and then look, I'm gonna be honest. I said, don't nobody give her no more chips. Okay? And I said it kind of forcefully because I done seen her with chips all day. On top of that, I put her in her crib. Her crib is in our room. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. My wife, now, I don't say nothing. Now, she said, I didn't give her no chips. She got that out of the room. I didn't say anything I didn't say that she gave her the chips. I didn't say anything else. Now, my wife that's being used, now, like I said, the enemy looks for a crack, right? So now, my mother-in-law's in the living room. I'm in the bedroom. I put my daughter in the bed. I take the cup, put it on the dresser. My wife tells me, I didn't give her no chips. I said, Coretta, I didn't say you did. It should have just been done. But what she says to me is, I owe her an apology. I said, tell me why I owe you an apology. Now, this is where the enemy comes in. The enemy says, nah, you don't owe me an apology. You're right. But it's like in a sarcastic way, right? But I'm really trying to figure out, where do I owe you an apology? Because I didn't say you don't give her no more chips. You told me that was her cup, which had chips, that was laying in her bedroom, because it's one of those bowls that you can put your hand in, and you know, you can turn the bowl over and the chips don't come out, or whatever snack you put in the bowl, it don't come out. Okay, so I'm not accusing her for giving my daughter chips, our daughter chips. Okay, so I'm like, why? When I said it, it was kind of like for everybody. Don't give her no more chips. It's 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night. I said it forcefully, but I didn't say you. I didn't say my wife's name. I didn't say my mother's name. It was kind of like, chip game is done. Period. For the night. So why would my wife say you owe me an apology? Because anytime we get in a spiritual fight, and if I say you owe me an apology, you think I get one? I don't never get no apology. I don't even ask for an apology, but I don't never get one. But she wants me to give her a apology. And I'm like, why do I owe you an apology? I never said that you gave her, you said that it was the chip, she got the chip cup and that's cool. But I never said that you gave her a chip. I didn't yell at you like I was saying, don't give her no more chips. That meant for like your mother, for you, for me. She don't need no more chips tonight. She didn't eat no dinner. She don't need no chips. It's 11:30 at night. I understand you didn't see her get the cup or anything, and you was, I was asleep. So I don't know if she seen her walking around with the cup. But then it goes from I owe her apology to, oh, you threw your daughter in the bed. I said, I did not throw. So I said, now I threw her in the bed? No, I put her in the bed. I picked her up and put her in the bed. I didn't toss her. I didn't throw her. She wasn't crying or anything. So why are you saying that I threw her? See, this is what the enemy does, because now when I get to questioning her, she could come out and get upset and angry. So what do she hit me with? She hits me with this line. I'm the enemy. I said, but I'm always the one that she claims that I call her the enemy. She says, I'm the enemy. Then she says, I told you I don't want to be in this marriage. Where is that coming from? Like, I'm listening to her and I'm like, Coretta, where is this coming from? I said, because anytime the enemy uses her, she'll hit me with, I'm the enemy. I told you I don't want to be in this marriage, or I'm not the person that you want me to be. And I never once told my wife who I want her to be. You see what I'm saying? Like, the enemy twists his words and he says things to a point. So now when I'm trying to address what's and correct what's being said, she gets upset. She gets mad. Now she's saying, yeah, go sleep on the couch. Go sleep on the couch. Because I left out the room. Now, I've been sleeping on the couch for months now because she don't want me. She'll claim, and like I said in other videos, I snore to the point that is unbearable. But I done told her plenty of times, I said, record me. If it's so bad, record me. Because I done seen you sleep in other rooms where it was way noisier, but you don't want to sleep next to me for whatever reason. So I just felt the need, man. I had to come in and make this video because the enemy, my birthday's coming up, and the enemy always wants to come around the holidays, or if I got some time off. Like, I can't never have an off day and enjoy my off day with my wife, or a couple off days with my wife, because the enemy always comes to argue and fight over nonsense and stuff that I did not say and stuff I did not do. And then when I try to explain to her, it's like, you're right, you're perfect. I never said I was perfect. I don't never come across like I am perfect. I never said I know everything. But that's what the enemy done. That's what he does. And that's what is in her mind, that she believes, because she has not picked up her Bible and read. And it's not about picking up your Bible and reading. It's about picking up your Bible, reading, and doing what God asks you to do. That's how you transform yourself. That's how you change. Is by God's word will transform you. Same way when he created this world, his word created the world. So if you're reading his word and you're doing what his word tells you to do and you believe it and you follow and obey it, you will ultimately start transforming from a person that you used to be to who God wants you to be. And once you start doing that, then the enemy is going to come after you. Some ways different than others. He's going to attack the sin that controls you, but you already should know the enemy don't have authority over you. He can't. Once you get to a place with the Lord and the Lord lives within you, he can't touch you. That's why I'm not saying he can't touch me, because he can. I could still sin. But I know I choose not to. You see what I'm saying? Now, only if I allow, like, I could have erupted in the house. And the enemy got me to a point where my blood was boiling with my wife that I wanted to slam some doors. I wanted to punch, a cabinet, because he wants you to get frustrated. That's his whole goal, is to get me to a place of frustrated. So that's why my wife starts saying things that he knows I don't like to hear. That he knows that I don't want to be around. And I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to divorce you, because that's what he wants me to do. I told y'all, and I explained this in other videos. This is how the enemy plays. This is how he plots. It's like when you hear that it's constant tormenting in heaven, and I mean not in heaven, constant tormenting in hell. Trust and believe, it's constant tormenting in hell. Because if he could constantly try to torment me on this earth, I could just imagine what he's doing to millions of folks that's down there in hell, because they lived a selfish life instead of a selfless life. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't know how long this is gonna go. I don't know, like, how do I go about entertaining my wife? I'm off tomorrow. It's Sunday. I want to catch these football games. I want to do all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We looking for a new car. Like, would I be able to go all day without her breaking into a moment of spiritual warfare and breaking into a fight because she wants to say that I did something or something I did not do, or said something that I did not say? And then when I try to correct her, she'll say, and because I'm the enemy. And then I know we're in a spiritual fight. She's not going to be, I'm already expecting her. I'm going to pray, tell God to send my angels down to protect me, to protect her mind, put on my suit of armor, try to live, through the fruits of my spirit, and use this suit of armor to attack the enemy with my actions. And, it don't mean go in the house and don't say nothing, and don't I'm sorry people, I'm tired, I'm sleepy. It don't mean go in the house and don't speak to my wife, because even though I know who I'm fighting against, it's flesh and blood. I mean, it's not against flesh and blood, it's against the principalities that's controlling her. I still gotta love her and know and have the understanding she don't know no better. And why she don't know no better? Because she don't meditate on the word. So when I'm trying to explain what's going on and how it's going on, it goes through one ear and out the other. She ain't trying to hear me. She ain't trying to listen. And then it gets to a point where the enemy makes it seem like, all I do is try to lecture her and this, that, and this. But I never get the chance to talk to her about what's going on, because every time I get to trying to talk, she don't want to listen. He tunes her out. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I'm in a lose-lose, because if I try to tell you what the enemy's doing, you don't want to listen, or you tune me out like I'm, speaking something that's boring. So I never get to address what took place, what happened, what's the truth, what actually was said. Excuse me. What was actually said, what actually took place, what actually happened. Like, I'm trying to explain to my wife, I did not throw my wife, I did not throw my baby in her crib. Why do I gotta apologize to you when I didn't even say anything else more about the chips? I just said, don't nobody give her no chips. That's it. Like, where am I wrong for saying that? Because I was not even looking at her when I said it. And when she told me that she picked it up from in her room, I understood it, because I did see that cup in her room. Then what the enemy does is, I put her in her crib. She tells me, why she got to go to bed? It's 11:30. She's always in her bed at this time. So now all of a sudden she's not in her bed at this time. So what she do? She takes the baby out. She's doing whatever it takes to frustrate me, to get me to a place where I could get upset and mad and flip out. But I don't. And that's what the enemy wants. It's like he wants to show God, this person, Rashad, that you say is righteous, he's not righteous. Watch this. I'm going to push his buttons. And he would keep on and try to push my buttons using my wife, because that's the only way he could push my buttons is through my wife. It ain't going to be with nobody else. It ain't, don't get me wrong. I could have a spiritual fight with anybody, people at work, but he uses my wife against me. Why? Because it could get to the point where she just gets tired and leaves. And then I'm questioning myself, like, okay, what just took place and what happened? Because I know I didn't do anything. My thing is, even with my ex-wife, even though I gave her ammunition, I know I did not do anything wrong to her. That I don't have guilt in me for us not being together no more. I don't have no guilt. I'm at peace. I'm good. If I seen her today and we spoke, hey, it ain't nothing but love for me. Now, she may feel a different way because she ain't never apologized. She ain't never, did true forgiveness. And my fellow Christians, y'all know what true forgiveness is. But man, I've been talking for about 40 minutes. I'm about to go back in this house. If I got to make another video because something transpires between now and then, I will. But this is my life story, and I'm just trying to help others out there that may be going through the same thing and want answers, and they can't find the answers nowhere else online. So I'm trying to break it down the best way I can. The videos will probably get better in time, but I'm doing what God wanted me to do, and this was to share and show people and really explain what spiritual warfare looks like. Until then, I'm your boy Rashad, and I'm out.